According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, research indicates persistent bullying can lead to or worsen feelings of isolation, rejection, exclusion, and despair, as well as depression and anxiety, which can contribute to suicidal behavior. Smartphones mean youth can constantly be subjected to negative comments. The Needham Exchange Club wanted to increase awareness of this mental health issue, so they reached out to Needham Youth and Family Services to help provide an opportunity for bullying and suicide prevention advocate John Halligan to speak with the community. Halligan already held a virtual parent presentation on March 1st, but he'll be in Needham on March 16th to talk with students and parents.
I've been telling my son's story since 2005. I lost my son Ryan to suicide on October 7, 2003. He was one of the early victims of cyberbullying. The very first time I told Ryan's story was to a group of high school students at a high school in Vermont. The first time I thought was going to be the last time. It was a one-time request. And the response to that presentation was so positive. When I left, kids were in tears. I had heard stories of kids apologizing to each other, and also heard of one child who came forward to the guidance department, letting them know that he was feeling the way Ryan had felt. It was a pretty amazing experience to have, to realize by telling my son's story, it not only influenced their behavior and got them to recognize their own mistakes and apologize to each other, but also I've discovered that there's a Ryan basically in every school that I step into. And, it's just an opportunity to help another family avoid this type of tragedy.
We're hearing right now that there is a pretty significant amount of bullying that's happening. A lot of that bullying is taking place on social media. There's such a high level of depression and anxiety that we need to find it in ourselves to be kind to each other. And if not, the impact can be really significant. So Ryan's father is coming and speaking and really trying to send this message to the community that just has so much importance.
When it comes to students, I always feel there are three types of students in front of me. There's either a bully, a bullied, or a bystander. And perhaps some children have played more than one role in those three. But I always feel like there's every person who leaves my presentation, they're going to recognize themselves in one of those roles. And the key takeaway is to, basically, if you're being bullied, you got to ask for help. Don't internalize it. Don't keep it to yourself. Don't suffer alone. The bystanders will get the clear message that, look, you're just as guilty as the bully if you let them continue their behavior. So rather be a bystander, be an upstander and stand up to your friend. And for that child who's been the bully, there's an opportunity to apologize and wipe the slate clean. I'm all about forgiveness. I'm all about apologies.
The presentation is on March 16th during the half day that is aimed at middle school students. We are partnering with Park and Rec and also the Needham Public Library. So Park and Rec is going to be running a couple games at about 1 o'clock. The presentation will happen at 2 o'clock. And there's also going to be books available at the Needham Public Library for checkout. And then we have a parent and child presentation on the night of March 16th. And that is, we're really hoping that parents and their kids can come together, and that way parents can help kind of communicate about the importance of this beforehand and afterwards. You can register for the March 16 events on needhamprograms.com. We're hoping that parents and students can come away from this presentation, understand what it means to build resilience, to be kind to one another, and to really come together as a community and help support each other, as opposed to having these incidents of bullying or being negative in a way that can really impact somebody's life. So understanding the importance of their actions and what an impact it could have on other people.